Imagine waking up tomorrow and you decide everything in your life completely and utterly and wholeheartedly is your fault. You just take ownership for everything, and you'll watch your life change. So, something that I want to work on more, and I have been reading about. I'm reading this book called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I think that's how you say it. But it's a good book. Highly recommend. But I have everything written down here, my notes from that book, and just from a journal about random stuff, and from the people that I've learned from around me, and they have something in common. And I want to make a YouTube video about it. A lot of people who have success, who have a good soul, and are higher achievers and higher energy and everything better. They all have this stuff in common, this thing in common, and it's being overly responsible. Your life is your fault. So, what I mean by that, not meaning you're pitying on yourself or you're beating yourself up for your life. But what I mean is everything to the core is your fault. Everyone's dealt cards. So, like in a poker analogy, you can have a 7-deuce offsuit, you can have pocket aces, but you can still end up with the same pot with both a good hand and a bad hand. So kind of the same thing. You've heard this before. Everyone starts somewhere different. Everyone ends somewhere different. Everyone has a different journey, like that. But you can get to the top if you can get to the top faster if you are overly and wholeheartedly committed to believing that everything's your fault. And the only way to get to where you want to be is taking ownership from everything you've done, and not being where you want to be. So, you wake up tomorrow and you realize everything's your fault. Everything's your responsibility. Not because you need to solve everything, but because you're the only person that can solve them. That last sentence means your life, it's on you. Not someone else's decisions, not someone else's genetics, not someone else's financial situation. It's all you. It's all on you. People who victimize themselves, they look, who can I blame? Whose fault is this? And then the people that are super successful that I've learned from, and like my trading mentor Akram, one of my buddies Oliver, even my closer friends too that are super ambitious, they take ownership. Like Juan, Aiden, my dogs. They are super accountable for everything, and they say, "What can I do next?" They don't look to blame someone else. It's their fault, right? If everything is your fault and you need to make a decision and act on it, it is freeing, way more freeing than depending on someone else to change and looking to blame someone else. So most people will give away their control. They'll say it's genetics, it's timing, their financial situation. They grew up in the slums. It's bad luck, That could be true. These things could all be true too. Like, these things could genuinely be bad for you, and it is true. But even if it is true and you give it that power, and you are already committing yourself to, you are where you're supposed to be because of your financial situation, we'll say, then you're just giving it that power and you're powerless. But if you say, F that, yeah, I'm born in the freaking slums, or yeah, my life, the timing's terrible, or is terrible bad luck. But if you say it's my fault for it, and you don't give it that power, it gives you something to act on. And I think that's like literally that little perspective shift is the difference between a successful person and not. The moment your success, I wrote this down, the moment your success depends on someone else's changing, you've surrendered control of your future. Being overly or radically responsible creates freedom. If everything is your fault, you never have to wait. You can always just act. That is like true independence, true success, true everything. So really give it a go. Give it, I swear, if you give it a freaking week or even a month or a year, oh my God, just watch your life change. If everything's your fault, you do everything yourself, you micro teach yourself things. I'll be honest, I didn't get taught how to tie my shoes. I mean, I love my parents. They just honestly never taught me. So I taught myself how to do that like a year ago. And I'm freaking 19. It's embarrassing. I looked up how to cook a good steak, even though my dad taught me how to make a steak. I looked up how to do a lot of these little things. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is it's on you. Just act. Those are super minor examples, but if you like look at people who grew up with nothing, successful people. I'm trying to think of someone that has came from nothing. Um, let me think. We'll just say Kobe. He's the only guy I can think about right now. But Kobe Bryant put the work in every single day. He was getting into the gym at 3 or 4 a.m. So not only he had work ethic, but everything was his fault. When he missed that free throw from the light, he went and shot free throws in the sun. It was his fault. That's a good example. Came up with that on the spot. But moral of this video is if everything is your fault and you have that perspective shift, then it allows you to just act. You don't have to look for external and other people to blame. You can just simply say, what can I do next out loud? And then just take that leap and just keep going. Because once you take that leap, once you act and you make that decision that is not someone else's fault, it is your fault. You know, in poker, you were dealt the shittiest hand, 7-2 offsuit, but you play your cards right and you bluff the first, you limp and bluff and then you shove at the end and everyone thinks you got a great hand and then you just realize you flip both your cards and you realize you're bluffing. You win the whole pot. That's a good feeling. And you weren't dealt the best hand, just like in life. And just like with bad times and good times, adversity and success, they're going to hit you and it's all your fault. And if you look at it with that perspective, your life will change drastically. So I hope I wasn't looking down too much, but I have a lot of all these notes written on here. But yeah.